Hi everyone, welcome to our live stream. Let's wait for a few seconds until people join in and then we can start. To everyone joining right now, welcome. Welcome to Product People, Product Community. We're going to start in about a minute, but meanwhile, as you can see, there's a QR on the screen. So if you want to scan it with your phone or go on the link on the screen on the right, which is slido.com, and put in this code, you can ask questions that we will answer in the end of the session. All right, I think we are good to start now. Thank you everybody for joining. My name is Maria, and I'll be the host of this live stream today. So we have a very exciting topic for tonight, or the afternoon. I wish everyone, by the way, a good time of your day or night. I know that people join from all over the world. So today we have Amelie Consigny from V Health. She's the CEO and co-founder of this company, and she's going to be talking about minimum viable chaos, building products and companies from dust. So a very exciting topic indeed. I hope everyone enjoys. First of all, few words about myself. I'm Maria. I'm associate product management consultant at Product People, and I have several years of experience in product management and a few in marketing and sales as well. I've worked in a span of B2B and B2C industries on a lot of pretty exciting projects. And yeah, my favorite part of working for Product People is an opportunity to meet clients from all over the world and get to work with very different teams and help them build products. So, a few words about Product People for those that do not know it. We are interim product management consultants, and we help with product operations and transformation acceleration services via our in-house staff. That is how we make money. And on the right side of the screen, you can see how we give back to community. And that is via this free events and talks for a lot of people, which is over 60,000 members all over Europe. And it's one of the largest PM communities. And you are luckily part of one of these free events right now, which is online, but we also have a lot of free events in person as well. So now I want to present you our speaker, Amelie, and she is going to talk about minimum viable chaos. And welcome, Amelie. Thank you so much for joining, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me, and good afternoon, everyone. So this afternoon, indeed, we'll be talking about minimum viable cows, or the art of building products and companies from dust. I'm Amelie Consigny. I'm French, as you might hear, and I'm a second-time founder. Started actually a company a few years back, focused on actually helping business owners to get a protection in case their employees get sick or have a burnout. And actually seeing also that this took really very long and that we shouldn't wait until people are sick. This is now my second business, focusing on the preventive care and specifically for hormones. So for women having hormonal transitions. So that's me. And why today this topic? Very much because, building products and companies from dust, that's also what I've been doing for the last decade. So let's just get started. This is a small view if you want to see what V-Health is about. Some of you might be very visual. We might have some designers in the room. So this is our app, and this is an AI-driven app to really help women understand their symptoms, and on the basis of their symptoms also really recommend treatments, plans, and care path actually to get better. So that's in a few words what V-Health does today. But that's not only what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about building companies and products from scratch. So I want to welcome you indeed to log in the Slido. And first, I want to do a bit of a poll about MVPs. So in the product Bibles, when someone says MVP, what do you actually really think? Really curious to see your answer. So is it ship it now, fix it later? Is it the only way to learn fast? Is it the minimum viable panic? Or do you actually think about lean startup? There is only one answer, so I'll wait for a few more. We need to still get a little bit warmed up. Only one answer. Nobody else wants to answer? Well, so this is the answer that we're going to have for today, minimum viable panic. So this is also pretty good and fits pretty well with the theme. That's not the answer I was expecting. Ship it now, fix later. Yeah, that is a bit more what I was expecting. I'm going to wait a few more seconds to see if we have a few more participants in the poll. Okay, so we are going to go with those two answers for now. So to continue warming up a little bit, I want to measure your chaos meter actually. So in your product work, how often do you experience chaos in your work? Is it every morning before your coffee? Is it daily? It's part of the job. Is it weekly fire drills to keep you alive? Or is it just very rarely? I'm really keen to hear what the product community experiences. So please go ahead and join our Slido to also measure this. Oh, I see there are questions. If you want to participate in the answer, just scan the QR code and join the poll. Yeah, daily, it's part of the job. Yeah, that is very much what I was expecting, but I'm waiting for a few more answers. It is at least daily or weekly. Luckily, nobody answered every morning before coffee, so that is quite positive. But sadly, nobody answered rarely. Okay, we are gonna go to the chaos personality test. So if chaos were a surprise guest in your project or in your product, you would analyze it. There's always a pattern. Would you welcome it? Chaos sparks creativity. Would you contain it? Too much and we can't move. Or would you escape it? I didn't sign up for this. I am really keen to see what will be the answers. So we have some analytical people in the room trying to contain it as well. Okay, so yeah, I think we have a very rational audience today. So definitely analyzing and trying to contain it, which makes sense. So I'm going to take this into the storytelling of today. So this is the end of the summer. So the inspiration for me was very much the beach. I think a lot of you might still relate to your past vacation or maybe warming up for the upcoming vacations. And this is actually a picture of my kids. So when everything is sent, what do you do? And this was for me a great metaphor for the product work that we do. So when everything is sent, you first sit and you're going to look at the problem, maybe a little bit perplexed, but looking at how are we going to make this happen? What you can see as well is that you start grabbing the tools and maybe looking out on how to use them. Well, it clearly shows that you should use it the other way around. But you start really puzzling yourself around. What are we going to do to fix this problem? Looking at the material, also looking where are you sitting on the beach, what is the right place. So really trying to make sense of what you see. And then once you have that plan, you start to get busy with your plan, right? And you start to work really hard. Actually, we can't see their faces, but they look very happy doing the work. And I think most of us are also really happy with developing products and building companies or products. But it is also really hard work. And that's exactly what we see. A lot of sand, working together, teamwork, and figuring out how are we going to do this. So then it continues, of course, and you find new tools maybe, or you realize that some of the rocks or the epics that you had planned are a little bit more difficult than you expected. So maybe you let it fall and you pick it up again, and you struggle to bring it to the line, but you do get there actually. And finally, ta-da! Your MVP is ready. So after planning this MVP and really figuring it, how are we going to solve this problem? Then working really hard as a team, and then having some really hard rocks to lift. Then you have your MVP. It's not really a palace, but it does look a little bit like a castle. And you've done it with teamwork. I also see on the picture actually. So this is your first MVP. Is this something you're great or proud of? Well, not always. It's important to also keep your bar really high. But this is where you are. So the question to you is, where do you start when everything is chaos or sent? And that's very much what I want to also go through today. So when everything is sand or chaos, the first thing is indeed you make a plan and then you just go and do it. Why? Because action is information. So even if it's difficult to figure out what to do, then pick a direction and then go and act on it. Because when you act on it, you'll get information. You'll try and you'll get to create the data that you need to actually take decisions afterwards. So that is my first point. Just do it. Deadlines beat debates. So stop polishing your deck or your PRD or debating and just try to ship fast. Keep your standard really high though. And if you're early in your career, learn what those high standards are. It doesn't mean to lower your bar to do an MVP. It's really about shipping something that you can feel comfortable about putting in the hands of your customers. If you can't decide, just pick a decision and commit. This is the best you know on this basis today. The second point is get out there. What I see today is a lot of product teams actually that just don't go out to customers. They hide behind their statistics, the data, or some prototypes, and they just don't go and see what users do. When you have your product in the hands of your users, you just really see the problem, so much more perspective than just looking at just the data. So this is really the perspective that you need to have by talking to your customers. And today with all AI tools, the threshold has never been lowest. And yet fewer go out there and talk to customers. I often have conversations with product managers and ask them, when was the last time you've had a conversation with a customer? Well, I've looked at the data and, I can track. No, when is it that you've actually had a conversation? So really keep that habit of pushing yourself to talk to customers. A real life example in health tech, so with V-Health, it is very much patience at macro level and speed at micro. And that's also why actually the execution speed is so important. So to give you an example, we started at V with B2B2C, so really selling through insurers, but also through employers to help women get over their hormonal transitions. And while we launched our app, we actually saw that we had quite a lot of requests every week on a D2C side. It's not our focus, we were really small, so we let it aside. But this inflow kept going. So instead of debating and thinking, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to do it or not? We don't have the D2C budget. What are we going to do? Well, we made a funnel and we tested it to see really, okay, how many conversions can we really get? And let's go and talk to those customers that signed up and really understand how did they get here, what interested them to sign up. So really go and get out there, and especially if you're in an industry that is moving really slowly at the macro level. I'm going to move to the second point, which is brutal prioritization. And that as if your life depends on it, because frankly, it does depend on it. So what you see is that you acquire some knowledge really fast, but you will never be able to acquire so much knowledge as to have a risk-free sort of experiment or bet. So you have to really define on what is the amount of knowledge that I will be comfortable with, and that threshold needs to also be, well, reasonable, but not necessarily really high. So when it comes to prioritization, well, it is really important, especially when you build companies, that you take care of your brain's decision quota. So if you don't watch for this, you will actually notice that by the end of the day, you can't decide what you want to have for dinner. So for me, what is really helpful is to batch similar decisions into one. It's also to create no decision zones. So certain things where I don't decide and it's just standard, I will just do it in one way. Say no often or delegate to your team. And then the other point is, of course, killing your darlings. So when there is chaos, it really forces you actually to take some perspective and focus on bets. So building fast rituals, for example, triage and resets on a weekly or monthly basis or mid-quarterly as well. So to really make sure that you keep the whole team aligned and that you can really keep yourself on the eyes on the cake. That's exactly what you want. So that is that number 2, brutal prioritization. And then the third one is actually to go and make peace with chaos. I know this is the most difficult one, but just let it go. I think I see a lot of product managers that want to actually control everything that is happening, or founders that want to control everything that is happening. But if you try to keep in control of every detail, then it will be really hard on your headspace and just on your mental health. So just let it go. And yeah, one simple way is just accept it. Chaos is just inherent in starting a product or a business. So it's just not feasible nor helpful, actually. Another way is also to laugh at it. And of course, humor can really help, but it can really just also cheer up the whole team. So to give you a real life example, in the previous company I built, just before going live with our first product, our partner said that it wasn't just not ready, and that we couldn't access the API for the pricing. So we couldn't go live. And in discussing with them, we found that the only way to go live in a reasonable timeline was to reverse engineer actually the pricing model. And when this chaos event or chaotic event happened, we realized that actually it was not so difficult. So for us, it was, the secret sauce of the industry of insurance suddenly was accessible to us. And that was probably the biggest mind opener for us to actually build a product very fast. So sometimes from chaos, you can be surprised. And now I would like to turn it around even. After really thinking what happens when everything is chaos or sand, then I would like to challenge you actually. What if you would turn it around and see an opportunity in chaos? A lot of people don't see it this way, but it can be. And that's what I call the minimum viable chaos. Whether you work in a small company, a startup, but also a really large tech startup, a tech company, sometimes chaos can bring creativity, it can bring urgency, so that can be really healthy. So, what is minimum viable chaos? It is the smallest amount of disorder you need to keep moving forward when building any product. And it's actually about finding the sweet spot between too little chaos that leads to paralysis and just shipping too slow and focused on stakeholders, and too much chaos that drives burnout, broken products, and shifting priorities. So, really, next time when you have chaos, just think about it. I want to invite you to just think about it and start dancing the next time that you will feel like there is a lot of chaos in your product development process. I think that was it. I am curious to, a little bit early, but I'm curious to hear if there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Amelie. That was fantastic presentation. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, dance for chaos is definitely difficult, but I think it's needed sometimes in our lives. So thank you everybody for watching and for staying with us. As you can tell, there is a QR again as a reminder on your screens for those who want to ask Amelie any question about her wonderful presentation. You can do so scanning this QR or going to the link and putting the code in to the website directly. So now I want to meanwhile tell you some use cases for when you can engage product people. And we have three main use cases, and one of them is interim or fractional product manager or a product leader. So imagine your company does have product managers, but one of them is going on a parental leave or on a long leave. So we can cover those use cases. We can cover up to 12 months of parental leave, or we can also cover for when you are searching for a new product manager to step into the role while you are hiring, because we know that it might take a long time. Also, when you have an important or urgent initiative, we can also cover those cases. So we can go drive product discovery or delivery, build an MVP, develop strategy and roadmap for your new feature or product. And those sudden ideas for initiatives come and go. So we know that sometimes you just need someone urgently put on a roll. The second case is for program management or product operations. You can help your product management team to upskill with us. We can do an appraisal of their skills and set up personal development plans for the product managers on your team. And also, we can do a specially custom process or program and streamline and create it from from 0 to 1. Sorry, and all that in hypergrowth or at scale. So we create a very streamlined kind of like way for product operations to really flourish at your organization. Finally, it's transformation acceleration. So we can help you to shift from sales or tech led company to product led company, which is so important nowadays because there are so many sales and tech oriented companies that product is kind of in the back, and we will really help you put it in the driver's seat. And finally, we can help you configure your product strategy and team structure by setting up your product organization for future success. this on the slide, you can see some of our selected B2C clients, and I'm sure you are familiar with at least some of these brands. And here you can see our B2B clients. And we work with companies all over the world in all sort of different industries. And um, you for sure have heard of some of those. Now, some of the stats about product people. These are some numeric ones that will for sure spark your interest. We have 690 plus cross functional teams that we have supported over the years. And that means over 100 clients from Series A startups to publicly listed companies that we've worked with. Then we have on our team currently 40 product leaders and product managers. We are all in house and full time, so we are not um, freelancers, and we are working all the time to ensure quality of service for our clients and a strong career development path for our team members. And finally, one of the facts that's my favorite, it's our company is 59% women on the team and 60% in leadership. We have a strong bias to promote from within, and also we try to attract as many women as possible in this tech industry. And our approach is skills before CVs in our hiring process. So now let's go back to the Q&A. um, I'm sure Amelie is excited to answer some questions now. So let's jump in by the first question that we have. It's how do you decide what to prioritize when everything feels urgent and resources are limited?
Yeah, so that comes back, I think, to A bets. So the big bets, not the B's or the C's, but really the big bets that will actually make it or break it. So that is very much also, yeah, I always prioritize based on our North Star metric. And yeah, also do the trade off in terms of cost and value add. And then also really compare some of these, most important bets. So for me, it's always very important to bring it back to concrete value, but also to really come to a decision quite fast, because often it is really a matter of survival to actually make a decision and gather some information as well. So action is really information. So if you get started, you will often see that your own assumptions or hypotheses turn out to be quite different in reality.
Thank you for your answer. We have another question from the audience, and that is, can you share a moment when things felt completely chaotic but ended up leading to a breakthrough?
Well, that's the case that I've already shared. I think this was the biggest breakthrough because this was actually our mode, and that's how we found out our mode. So the moment we couldn't go live because of our partner, and that we by doing or by having this event, that we really felt, wow, what are we going to actually do? And then we had to really think of different solutions, and ultimately we decided to reverse engineer the pricing. And by doing so, first of all, when you get started, you really feel, this is going to be really tricky. Are we going to get there? And if we don't get there, what will happen? What will we do? What is plan B and C and D? But actually, when we did it, we figured out, but we can build this as well. And this became our mode. So sometimes you can find your mode actually in the most weird ways, so to say.
Yeah, sometimes you have those eureka moments unexpectedly, I guess. All right, thank you for this answer as well, Emily. We have question number 3. What roles does AI play in building products nowadays, and how do you see it shaping the future?
Yeah, so I think in general, I use AI. The first company I built, that was in 2020, so then not that long ago. And today I see such a massive difference. So today we are able to keep this company actually really small and tight because we are leveraging a lot of tools to augment ourselves. So that is definitely playing a big, yeah, a big role. So whether that is, Perplexity, ChatGPT, coding tools, and there are many there that we use, also for design. So even trying out some prototypes or new websites or landing page these days with Lovable or other tools, you can really, go a lot faster and see, hey, shall we go ahead with this experiment? So I really enjoy looking at these things and also trying them out. If anything, I think I don't do it enough even, and I do it quite often. But yeah, I think it's just fun to try things, and it amazes me, very often actually. So I think it plays a massive role, and especially if you want to keep your team small and organized to, well, maybe to be surprised by the positive side of chaos while limiting the downside. I think AI can go really a long way.
I absolutely agree. And it's definitely very exciting to see all the new cool things that AI is able to do every day. All right, we have another question, and that is when building a company and product at the same time, how do you know how do you know if you are moving too fast or too slow?
Yeah, that's a very good question because, as I was saying, for health tech, on the what happens actually is that the macro level moves very slow. So making, for example, doctors or specialists adopt our technology, that is very slow. So that is exactly the knowledge that they miss, but having them adopt it is very slow. And yet, towards our users, so really consumers, then you do see that you need to go really fast, and then you can learn really fast. So it is a strange thing that the macro level goes really slow, and then the micro is very fast. And sometimes you do have some of these frictions that you really think, okay, but now we are a bit stuck. So what are we going to do to bridge the two? Um, I also don't think that you can go too fast. If anything, I've always experienced getting impatient with going too slow. So I would imagine though, if everything starts to break down, or if you have to lower the quality of what you ship, then I think you're going too fast. It really needs to keep your high standards, because shipping something that is half baked will also get you really poor results in terms of data, and you'll have to do it again. So really keep the high standards, I think, and keep the pace too.
Absolutely. That's a very wise advice. Thank you for that. All right, we have a couple more questions. One of them is from a leadership position. How do you keep your team motivated when everything feels uncertain or on fire?
Yeah, so I think it's also it's about engaging them as well. It doesn't need to be all your problems, right? I really like to think that the people I hire, I look really highly of them, and I am looking for them to help me solve those problems. So I think it's very much also really looking at some of them to help you for given problems. Not everybody can help on every topic, but I think sharing your challenges and what you face, and having them helping you, is super strong, right? Co-creation is really super important in a team, and I think that's also creating the magic or the glue in a team. So if anything, just engage with your team, and make sure that you solve that together.
Great answer. Thank you so much. I think we have another couple of questions. So this one will be pre last. If you want to ask anything else, you should hurry. Okay, so this one is if things are going smoothly, should you introduce a little bit of chaos to see if you can improve things?
Yeah, what do you think? I will answer. Yeah, I think so. Look, what I hear is also product managers working at big companies, and they sometimes feel things are going too smoothly or too according to plan. Well, I'd like to challenge as well. Do you think it's going fast enough then? And If it's going too smoothly, likely the answer is no. Maybe you can go faster or bigger, take bigger leaps, and have a lot more impact. So I think introducing chaos, or at least creativity, and making sure that you can challenge the team, that's super important. And not only important, it's also really fun, to be honest, right? So who doesn't like to solve a good puzzle or a good problem? So for sure, try to do that. And I think also the best way of finding chaos is also finding with your users. Find the biggest problem that you didn't actually solve yet. Talk to them, and then bring this big challenge that don't feel comfortable but definitely are fun to solve.
All right. What a great answer. Thank you so much, Emily. I think that that is it for the Q&A. Thank you, Emily, for answering all the questions. It was definitely a very interesting discussion. And thank you everybody for listening. Now for just few last things. As you can tell, we have two pretty exciting things about product people, and those are, first of all, we are hiring. So if you want to work hands-on to help our clients discover and deliver great products, you can apply using this QR code on the screen on the left. And also, we have a newsletter, which is pretty exciting. It's a monthly subscription, which where you can read about inspiring product stories and get some insights in your inbox directly every single month. So you can subscribe to it on the right by also scanning the QR code. I know there's a lot of QR codes in this presentation. So, just to announce the next live stream that will have exactly a week from now on September the 2nd at the same time, 5 p.m. Central Eastern Time. We are going to welcome Jonathan Lundmark, a senior product manager from Equity Group. I think it's how you pronounce it, at least. It's Equity. He's going to be talking about scaling an MVP to enterprise wide adoption and hidden powers of process workflows. So, whoever wants to join that, you are welcome. As always, we're going to be streaming on YouTube and LinkedIn, and please feel welcome to join that one too. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us today. And you can check our podcast, chat with us on Telegram. Podcast is on Spotify, excuse me. And also join us next week again on the same time on LinkedIn. And thank you so much, Amelie Consigny. You're awesome.
Thanks a
Bye.
lot for having me. Have a good